Houseguest, welcome to today's bbcan 9 updates and spoilers. Our Houseguests of the day are Matthew Burge and Nancy Graham. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much, so thank you again. And if you guys want to be Houseguests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla. Maybe we can afford a new light bulb in here. Are we ever going to change this light bulb? I don't know. But anyway, when we left off yesterday, oh my god, we were talking about one of the dumbest moves in Big Brother history, immediately followed by one of the other dumbest moves ever. I'm talking about that sweet POV ceremony. Yeah, POV ceremony. What are words anymore? Jed used the power veto on Beth. Oh my god. Instead of himself. And Tara put up Brayden in Beth's place. Oh my god! So Jed thinks that Brayden's going. Brayden thinks that Jed is going. Both sides are talking about how this is the biggest game move ever. Yeah, but like, for who? We're gonna have to see how this plays out, because if Jed stays, yeah, he was able to keep the whole trio intact, and he like left himself on the block. Like, that would be insane. On the flip side, if Jed goes, that means Kiefer, Ty, Brayden, and Tara were all able to convince Jed to stay on the block, and then they voted him out. So they're now calling this move the trapdoor. I think that's a fun name, right? But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. So we know that Kiefer is very much wanting to vote Jed out. Now Ty, and you only need 2 votes this week to make something happen. So Ty is playing the middle right now. It's really hard to figure out where he really stands. And I don't know, maybe the dumbness is rubbing off on me. But I really feel like Ty is leaning towards voting out Jed. That's really what it looks like. Which is crazy. It's insane. It's wild. But it's also crazy entertaining. So there's also, when you think about it, the chance that Beth could vote out Jed now that she's off the block. This is her chance that she's been waiting for, to make a big move and take out Jed. She's said multiple times, like, this is my winning move, I can do this. She doesn't want it to look like she's been carried through the game. And let's face it, if your showmance uses the POV on you, kind of looks like you're being carried, right? So Brayden's already been talking to her about it, and she seems receptive. She seems like she's really mulling it over. So it could end up being a unanimous vote at the end of the week for Jed to go. So, okay, yesterday, Kiefer, Brayden, and Ty were all chatting outside, and Ty was being, like, weird. I don't know if it's just because he's on slop or what. Maybe it's this move. I don't know, but he was being goofy and moody. This was funny, though. He was wearing sunglasses and this sun hat. It was just amazing. But, yeah, he was being really, like, snippy with people, and Kiefer says he's pretty sure that Beth is going to want to flip and vote out Jed. I could totally see it happening. And Kiefer says if that's the case, like, this vote needs to be unanimous so that Beth can't try and hide her vote and blame it on Ty. So Ty's like, we don't really need to even worry about saving face at this point, because it's all going to come out. You know, we're getting down to it here. But Ty is really curious when and, like, how Beth is going to approach him about taking out Jed. He says, you know what, though? Jed is going to go with or without Beth's vote this week. Oh, my God. Okay, so then it was kind of like a quiet afternoon / early evening yesterday. Nothing too significant to report. They had all that energy building up for the POV ceremony, and then both sides think they got it wrapped up, so there wasn't like a ton of campaigning happening. But later, Jed and Ty were chatting outside, and again, these two are alone now. This would be the perfect opportunity for Ty to spill everything to Jed that's been going on this week, if he is in fact still with him. But he doesn't. You know, like before, maybe he didn't want to do that because he didn't want to risk it getting out and, like, Ty ends up on the block. But now, POV ceremony's over. So if he is loyal to Jed, you would think he would start sharing this info. But, like, no, he doesn't. So, again, all signs are pointing to Ty actually wanting to vote out Jed. So Jed asks, has Brayden been campaigning at all yet? And Ty says, no. He says, we've just been chilling. We've been hanging out. So Ty says Brayden is probably just going to hit him with the classic stuff. Like, I'm better for your game. Jed's going to win the whole thing if you don't take him out. Like, that kind of stuff. But he says he doesn't think that Brayden is going to go hard with the campaigning because he knows what's up. Implying that, like, Jed's going to stay. But Jed's like, yeah, I don't think Brayden cares that much. He's just vibing. He's having a good time. And Ty agrees with that. And Jed says, as long as you guys got me, bro. You and Beth and Kiefer. Sunsetters. And Ty's like, yeah, we got this. It's all Sunsetters voting. Okay. So then, later, Kiefer checks in with Jed in the Destiny bedroom. And Kiefer lets him know, Brayden just pitched to me. And I'm pretty sure that this was just like a cover-up because Kiefer was spotted hanging out with Brayden, so he had to have some sort of excuse for why they were hanging out. So, yeah, he tells Jed, yeah, Brayden just pitched to me, and he told me that this is my chance to get you out, and you're a strong competitor, and that I would be dumb if I don't take you out. Those things are all true. But, he says Brayden also said that you're going to drag Tara to the final two and beat her in the end. So Jed's like, okay, like, let's not get crazy here. He says, I know, obviously, Brayden's going to have to pitch. He's up on the block, and he wants to stay. But he doesn't know what's going on here. He doesn't know what we've got going on. So he thanks Kiefer for telling him. He says, I appreciate it. And he asks Kiefer, I got you this week, right? And Kiefer's like, yeah. So Jed says he made this move with the POV for their 4. This was not just for one person. This was for their whole 4 so they could all make it through together. And he says his goal is still for them to make it to the final 4. And he says Brayden does not know that we've all been working together this whole time. Yes, he does. Thanks to Kiefer. So Jed just feels like Brayden is making a last-ditch effort here. And Kiefer's like, yeah, I told Brayden my hands are tied this week, and I'm going to vote with the majority. There's only 3 people voting. Come on. But yeah, it's BS anyway, because Kiefer knows he's voting Jed out this week. So then Brayden, Kiefer, and Ty had a little chat before bed last night. Lights out, chat on. Brayden says that Beth checked in with him a little earlier, and she asked if he's started planting any seeds yet to vote out Jed. And that's true. That conversation did happen. And Brayden basically told her, like, I'm working on some things, but, like, he's going to be going hard the next day. So they're all really curious, again, how Beth is going to approach this. Ty says he feels like he's watching a science experiment unfold. Me too. Welcome to Big Brother. So Brayden says, you know that Beth is going to try and claim Jed's eviction as her move. Of course. We know this. We notice. But she really did fall into this move this week. There was so much scheming going on, and you know she's going to try and slide in there and say that this was her doing. But I really feel like, in the end, Kiefer and Ty deserve the most credit for this because they really... I mean, Kiefer came up with the idea, and then they were really working Jed to make him do this. I would say after that, Tara also deserves a lot of credit here because she was able to finesse Jed into making this move. Those are the 3 that I would say the most. So, yeah, this morning, that was last night, this morning, Tara was chatting with Beth in the kitchen, and this is where things start to get a little wild. Here I am thinking I'm going to have a nice, easy day today. No. So, but, oh my god, what, entertaining. So, Tara asks, how are you feeling? And Beth is like, good, you know, Brayden's doing his thing, meaning starting a campaign. And Tara's like, well, I think it'd be a good move for you to vote out Jed. And Beth agrees. She's like, yeah, but I can't do it alone. I'm gonna need somebody to vote with me. So, Tara's like, okay, you didn't hear this from me, but... I guarantee you, it's not going to take much to convince Ty or Kiefer, or both, to vote with you this week. She says the vote's going to be 3-0, but Jed can't know about it. You know, you can't clue him in about this. So Tara says, Everyone's been hinting at it. They're just waiting for somebody to open up their mouth and say it. So Tara lets Beth know, this has been my plan the whole time. You were never meant to go, and Jed has been my target this whole week. So Beth is like, yeah, I know. I would lose against Jed in the final 2. She says nobody beats Jed in the final 2 if he survives this move. Like, he doesn't have to do anything for the rest of the game. But if he's in the final 2, he's going to win because of this. So Tara's telling Beth this would be huge for your resume. You know, you get this guy to use the POV on you, and then you vote him out? Like, that's freaking wild. So Tara says, on the flip side, if you don't, everyone's going to say that he carried you. And Beth agrees. She knows all this. So Beth says it's heartbreaking, but it looks like Beth has already flipped at this point. But Tara says, it's a game. You know, you're here to win. It's all good. Okay, so here we go. We got a big chat here. We've got Ty and Beth in the Destiny bedroom. They're both all giddy because they know what they're about to talk about. So Beth asks Ty, what were you talking about with Brayden and Kiefer in the HOH room? Because at one point today, she walked in on them talking, and she felt like something was up. So Ty is being coy. He's like, I don't know. He says, I need you to tell me what's on your mind. He says, I think I know what it is, but I need to hear it from you out loud. So Beth says, nothing we talk about can leave this room. You should tell yourself that as well, Bethel. But Beth says, it's in my brain. She says, if Jed survives this week, we're not winning. Ever. And Ty agrees. They both feel like this is their best chance to take him out, because if they don't do it now, he's going to be able to compete for the veto, compete for HOHs, so he could win out the rest of the competitions. Like, this is it. He's on the block after the POV. They don't know about that twist coming up, though. So Beth is like, oh my god, I want to barf. I'm so nauseous. She says she's struggling between wanting to go to the final 3 with the most legendary alliance of all time, or having some sort of a chance to actually win this whole thing. I mean, it sounds like a no-brainer to me, but Beth thinks that Jed knows something is up. She says he was near tears last night. Yeah, he should be near tears because he really freaking beefed it. He blew it for himself. So Beth says this would be ruthless of her to do. It seems like she's really struggling with the morality of this decision. And Ty's like, well, I didn't come here to lose. I didn't come here to make friends. I don't care about the whole making it to the final 3 Legendary Alliance thing because I'm not a super fan like you guys are. Ty is different this week. This week, Ty is like that meme of Kermit with like the Sith outfit, like with the shadow on his face. But I'm enjoying it a lot. But yeah, he is different. I feel like he is really, really upset with Jed. I feel like he's upset that Jed is seemingly choosing Beth over him. I feel like that's really flipped things here. So yeah, he's like no emotion with this move, which is crazy when you think back to like how he was with Spicy V when she was going, or how he was with Kiefer. He was like sobbing, but now nothing. So Beth says, if Jed goes, we'll all have a chance to win again. You know, it's completely different. So she says, you and me need to stick together above everyone else. You're still my guy. If this happens. Okay, cool. So if not, F you, I'm sticking with Jed. But they agree that they're going to talk about it more later. Ty tells Beth, have those discussions with Kiefer as well. Okay, so a little later, Ty and Beth were discussing it again. It's pretty much the same stuff. You know, if we want to win, we need to do this. You know, think about why you came here. Not for some guy that lives like across the country. So after a few minutes, Jed comes in and he says, I came here to give you guys my final pitch. He's getting really nervous. It's setting in that this is a serious situation now. I mean, now that he's hearing that Brayden is campaigning, he's freaking out. So I feel like he can tell too that the vibe has kind of changed here. But Ty and Beth are like, are you serious? Like, do you know who's voting this week? So Jed's like, yeah, I'm serious. I just want to make sure that I'm not being too comfortable in this situation. Like, I know Brayden's been talking shit. He's been campaigning. So Jed says, I've prepared a speech and I'm going to give it now. Okay. So Jed says, we've been the sauce since day one. And my intention, my hope is for us to still go to the final 3 together. He says, I could have used the power veto on myself this week and one of you guys would have gone home and it would have been really difficult. I would have been crying about it. But, you know, I did this for us. And he says, I'll be absolutely cheesed if one of the oddballs makes it to the final 2. So then Kiefer joins them. And Jed's like, oh, perfect. Like, I'm giving my speech. Like, have a seat. So then he amends his speech. And he says, we're the Sunsetters. We've been the Sunsetters since day 1. I want to make it to the final 4 with you guys. That's a little ridiculous, the way he changed that up. But Jed says, again, I made a big move, but this was for the squad. This was for all of us. And this is either the best move ever or the effing worst. I mean, right now it's kind of looking like it's the effing worst, but we'll see where this week goes. So Jed says he'd be in a really dark place if they voted him out. He would probably never talk to any of them again. And he's like kind of joking about this, but like also kind of not. And he says if Brayden stays, think about it, he will have escaped 3 huge evictions. The invisible, the double, and now this. So he says Brayden's resume is looking pretty good right now. I mean, it's improving, but I wouldn't say it's, like, great. But, Jed says if I go home on Tara's HOH, I will swan dive off of a bridge. Ugh. So they all laugh about that. Like, he's half joking, like, but yeah. Yikes. So Jed says, I hope there's nothing that can be said at this point for you guys to not want me here. And he says, I understand that I'm seen as a big player, but my loyalty shows. Like, I did this for you guys. I don't know what else I could possibly do to show you how loyal I am to this group. And he says, Brayden's been on the other side the entire game. You know, he's talked about targeting you guys. And he says, I love you guys. You guys are my family. He talks about how they kept Kiefer after Jed put him on the block. And he's like, I hope you guys can keep that energy with me this week. You know, we're a family. So he's saying it would be 4 versus 1 next week. We just got to take out Tara, and then we have that final 4 that we've been talking about this whole time. So Jed says, like, I hope you guys can let me know by Wednesday night. And then, of course, they're all joking about, like, there's no way that Jed even needs to worry this week. And Jed, again, is saying, like, I'd never live it down if I made this move and then I go. And he's like, I didn't realize how stressed that I would be on the block. He's super paranoid. He mentioned earlier, like, every time he's, like, looking for one of them and he can't find them, he's just assuming that they're with Brayden and Brayden is campaigning to them. So he's freaking out right now. But after this campaign, Ty and Kiefer were chatting in the Defender bedroom, and Kiefer's like, dang, this is gonna suck. And Ty's like, what, you didn't know that? Ty is so different. Ty must be pissed at Jed because there is, like, no emotion here. But they're still planning on voting out Jed. That campaign didn't do it. They're still planning on moving forward with the plan. But looking forward to next week, Kiefer says he's starting to get really nervous about Tara. You know, it's a huge move for her to take out Jed, and if she wins another competition, he's getting worried that he can't beat her in the end. And he's also feeling threatened because she really knows her days, and that's, like, supposed to be Kiefer's thing. So he's definitely getting nervous about Tara. What happened to be the best? You gotta beat the best. He's not thinking that now. But Kiefer says, we don't need to worry about Beth yet. She's not a strong competitor. She hasn't been good in competitions. So they talk about potentially putting up Tara and Beth next week and then figuring it out from there what they would do. But then Kiefer suggests they go to the final 3 with Beth. He's like, 3 Sunsetters. enough about the Sunsetters. We're done with that. Okay, so anyway, they talk about the remaining competitions. Kiefer says he feels like he has to win out because he thinks even Ty is going to want to take him out once Jed is gone. And Ty's like, why? And Kiefer says, everyone's going to be targeting me. So then Ty says, no, I would be happy for you to win. If I don't win, I want you to win the money. Like, I like what you would do with it. So they agree that they want to go to the end together, but keep in mind, like, they both have deals with multiple other people, like Brayden and Tara. So, like, who knows what they actually want? They've also both talked to those other people about potentially targeting each other. So, who knows? But anyway, I'm sure they're just covering all their bases, right? So a little later, Beth was in the HOH room with Jed, and she spills the beans. Oh my God, what are you doing? Just when I thought this week can't get any more ridiculous, it does. I thought this was what Beth wanted, and now she's freaking out. I don't know if this is like a jury thing, like a jury management thing. I don't know if this is like a I'm feeling really guilty because I've been sleeping with this guy all season thing. Like, but we're going to get some more insight in this conversation. Don't worry. So Beth tells Jed, Ty's been lying to you. And Jed's like, are you effing kidding me? And he immediately gets up and starts like pacing around the HOH room. And Beth is like, you need to stay calm. You need to stay calm. She says, Ty is saying we can never beat you in the end, even if we won the rest of the competitions. Like, this move alone is enough for you to win. You were saying that too, so don't put this all on Ty. But Beth says, don't freak out. Like, Ty can't do this alone. You need 2 votes to do something this week. So she's like, I really need to talk to Kiefer. And she feels like she's going to be able to sway Kiefer. Oh, wow. But she says, I'm walking into a lot of rooms and seeing Ty, Kiefer, and Brayden together. I think she's panicking about that, too, because she's realizing, whoa, those 3 have gotten really close. They're close with Tara. I have not much going on if Jed leaves. So she's freaking out about that, I think. There's a couple of things here that are, I think, freaking Beth out. But Jed says, I effing can't believe this, man. He looks crushed right now. So Beth says, I'm going to kind of be alone if you go. She tells him, don't freak out. Just pretend like you don't know anything. We can't let this get out right now. But she says, if you stay, Tara would be taking out Brayden, a weak player. And that would mean that Tara still has a weak resume. So yeah, they were talking about how they both get where Ty is coming from with this. Like, they didn't really expect him to do this, but they get it. Because they feel like Ty hasn't done much in the game so far. So, like, yeah, he's definitely going to feel like he can't beat Jed in the end. So, it makes sense for his game to make this move. Absolutely. Oh, my God. So, Jed's like, dang, I should have just used the POV on myself. Duh. But he thought the trio was solid. And it's kind of funny because they are under the impression that if Jed used the POV on himself and Ty went up, that Ty would go home against Beth. No way! But they're pretty confident. So Beth is wondering if Ty is just closer to Brayden now and not them. So she's like proposing that they pull Kiefer in, tell him they want to go to the final 3 with him, and like not even worry about Ty's vote at this point. But Beth was saying she's nervous that she's going to be next if Jed goes this week. It's definitely a possibility. Also, she's like, I don't want to play dirty like that. Sure. You were all about it before. But Jed says he's feeling pretty good about Kiefer because Kiefer swore on his kids last week or whatever. I don't what is time anymore? He swore on his kids that if he had the opportunity to save Jed, he would. No way. Not at this point. He's in too deep now. But Jed says, I can't believe that Ty is being like this. I should have just used the POV. But they're, like, on himself. But they're also trying to spin it like, oh, we never would have known that Ty would do this if you didn't use the POV on Beth. Sure. Always look at the bright side of life, right? So, Beth says, I can't have Tara have this move. Like, if I take you out, it's a different story. She says, I can't have this be Tara's move. Us three that would be voting this week, none of us would get the credit. Oh my God! And Jed agrees, like, this would 100% be Tara's move. She was the one that really convinced him to use the POV on Beth. I just can't believe Bethel right now. But Beth is like, no, Tara can't run the show. Like, she thinks she's running the show after she's been floating this whole game. So it seems like Beth's main motivations here are she does not want anyone else to get the credit for taking out Jed, and she's realizing she would not get much here. Also, she's realizing, oh crap, like, who am I going to have working with me if Jed goes? You know, Ty is now super close to Brayden. Kiefer is in with Ty and Brayden. Tara, she's probably thinking, if I go to the end with Tara, Tara might beat me now because she's the one who's going to get the credit for taking out Jed. So she's freaking out about that. But Beth tells Jed again, don't say anything to anyone because then they're not going to give me more information and I'll probably be out after you. Please. Can you imagine if it was Jed versus Beth in the battle back? Amazing. Blockbuster television. Like, let's do it. But after their conversation, Beth was called to the diary room and she was like, oh, I bet you want to know what I'm thinking, huh? She says, I have no idea what I'm thinking. Me neither. This girl is too much. But they talk again a little later. It's pretty much the same stuff. Can't believe that Ty is doing this. Blah, blah, blah. Gonna work on pulling in Kiefer. But Jed is pissed at Ty right now. And Beth is confident that she can get Kiefer. I don't think so. I think that Beth campaigning for Jed to stay is gonna make Kiefer want to vote him out even more. Because he's gonna be like, holy crap, we gotta break up this showmance. And Kiefer knows that he's got a better chance against Ty moving forward in competitions and in the final two. So I don't see them getting Kiefer, but we'll see what happens. And Beth and Jed were also talking about how they can potentially target Ty moving forward because now they know, like, he's not with them anymore. All right, on a related note, everybody else has noticed a change in Jed's mood at this point. They realize he's all sad, maybe thinking he made a mistake. I don't think they realize yet, though, that Beth has spilled all this info to him. But we've got 2 days left until the eviction. Don't forget, even if this goes through and Jed is evicted, we got that fake double eviction on Thursday. So can you imagine he's voted out and then he just, like, comes back? It's gonna be crazy. So let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments, and thank you for watching, and until next time, much love.